So this is the review for Mob Wives, Season 6, Episode 7, X's and Y's. So this starts off with Renee inviting everyone, except for Marissa, she wasn't there, to a baseball game, specifically the Cyclones. And Renee just wants to go and take her friends out, well, her friends and Melissa, because she really doesn't know the girl, to this game. And it's good because Big Ange just to go out and just enjoy herself with her people and not worry about the fact that she just had the surgery for throat cancer and now it looks like she has lung cancer. At this point it's just the early stages, but we find out it's stage 4, lung and brain cancer. I'm like, damn, Big Ange. But anyway, so aside from that, we are also dealing with the fact that the girls are just trying to hash out the fact that Brittany came with Drita, and before the seriousness comes into play, at least it starts out on a positive note, and they're just having fun, and Brittany's talking about it's Fashion Week in New York, and so she's getting ready, and she's showing her pictures of what she was doing on the runway already. And so they were just like, she was just like, yeah, I just have to wear this long frilly thing. And when I initially went modeling, they wanted me to wear the sheer thing, so sheer, you know, see through all of that. She's like, no, I'm not wearing something like that. It's like, look, of course they're going to expect you to wear stuff like that, especially since you have to think about the fact that someone Bravo's like, yeah, of course they're going to want a tall, thin girl to wear something like that, someone with no breasts. And Big Ange was like, see, something like this could never work. And it's just like, damn, gotta love Big Ange. So Renee takes Brittany out to the side, well, takes Brittany literally outside of their little box, and she goes and speaks with her. She talks with her because she's just like, listen, look, here's what's going on. I understand you're having the issues with Marissa, but what's really going on with that? Because you need to get your attitude checked. It needs to be in order. We can't be having this messiness, this foolishness. This isn't working. This isn't working. And Brittany's like, look, I don't have a problem. She's like, yeah, of course you have a problem. Oh yeah, side note, Karen was like, wait a minute, I don't have to put my heart put my hand on my heart. I'm like, no, this isn't the right song. It's like, yes. And then she was like, da, 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 da. I was like, oh yeah, Star Spangled Banner. Oh, say, can you see? She was like, no, it's not the same. It's like, look, this isn't America, America. Stop it. But anyway, so yeah, Brittany is just irritated because Brittany doesn't really like Renee, and Renee's just trying to remain cool, calm, and copacetic with everyone. So that's why she's trying to not rock the boat as far as Brittany's concerned. But she's like, look, you came on the offensive. You've been saying how you're going to beat this girl, how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that. Look, it's not our problem that she got the first hit. Why do you need to continue it? It's like, okay, on one hand, I do understand where Renee's coming from. And Carla's also saying, look, you should have actually came at her at just an even keel level, but you didn't do that. Instead, you went off. And so, of course, if you're going to get up, she's going to get up and she might swing first. That's what happens. Now, Karen is just like, look, this is supposed to be your friend. So why aren't you defending her against Renee and Carla? And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that is true. What's going on there? What is going on there? So aside from that, we have Karen also saying how, you know what, I'm really just tired of Brittany sounding like a carbon copy of Drita. It's like, what do you expect? They have both A1 personalities, so of course they're going to think alike, talk alike. Come on now. So Marissa is getting her hair done, and she's just saying how, I don't understand how Drita and I have a problem. This doesn't make any sense. Drita personally hasn't said that she has an issue with me, and she's trying to pretend to make nice, but I'll find out one way or the other if she's really being cool and copacetic, or if this is all front. And I'm just thinking, look, we know Drita isn't your biggest fan. You're just going to have to accept that because just because of the fact that you two have history as far as your families are concerned has nothing to do with how Drita can personally feel about you. And if Brittany, who she's really cool with, doesn't like you, then that's how it's going to be. Now, Big Ange goes and she has her checkup with this doctor. And side note, I didn't know that, I guess doctors really can't be, like, console you that much. But come on, there has to be some type of grief person to come in. But her, Big Ange's husband was working, so he couldn't go and be with her for the appointment. Big Ange finds out that she also has a little mass growing in her lung. And so she will have to have surgery because it's still growing. So it's very alarming to them. I'm just like, damn, damn, damn. If you only knew, Big Ange, how serious it was. And you know Big Ange is still partially in denial because she doesn't want to deal with this. It's just like, I already had surgery to get the throat cancer out. Now you're saying that I also have to do this? This is too much. This is too much. This is too much. Now, Brittany goes and she's having this photo shoot and she invites Drita because Drita, as we know, has a makeup line, professionally does makeup for the stars. And they're just talking and Brittany's saying how, you know what? Screw Marissa, screw Renee, and I'll invite Karen and I'll invite oh, and she also doesn't like Carla, but she was like, you know what, I'll invite Karen and I'll invite Big Ange to my fashion show because, you know what, they're cool enough and I just don't want any type of drama. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. That's probably one of the smartest things that anyone on this show has done, really. So Karen meets up with Marissa and Carla, and this is clearly the Marissa show. Marissa's just talking about how, I don't know why this chick has a problem with me, but if she's thinking that, oh, it was wrong for me to hit her, look, she got froggy, I got froggy faster, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. Now, here's the thing where things get really complicated because Karen's just over it because she's like, how in the hell is this chick Drita going and being a puppet master for Brittany and just messing everything up? Messing absolutely everything up. And Marissa's pissed because she's hearing from, well, Karen, apparently, that Lee and O.C., whatever Marissa's boyfriend's name is, yeah, so apparently they've been in contact with each other. Oh, no, that's not the case. They've not been in contact with each other. That is what happened. That's the story. That's what we're sticking to. But because he's out on parole, if it's found out that he was communicating with a previous felon, then he can be put back in jail. Because, you know, when it comes to parole, anything that you do, no matter how minor it seems to us, they'll put your ass back in jail. They do not play. They do, rightfully so, but they do not play. So she was pissed because it's like, how dare you even utter something like that, going back to your man and telling him to have a talk with him so that he can have a talk with me, or so that they can handle things. It's like, no, this is what the women are supposed to do. And I'm like, yeah, that is true. So someone better clear this up fast. So poor Big Ange, she goes and meets up with Drita, and she's like, you know what, I need to tell someone. So she tells Drita about the fact that she has lung cancer, and Drita gives her a hug. Drita's in shock, so she gives her a hug, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you've been through too much. This is too much. And Big Ange is going off. She's like, her husband doesn't make any money, he doesn't do anything, and then he wasn't even there for me as far as the going to the doctors. How dare her? How dare her? I mean, how dare him? How dare him? But Drita's just like, you know, I do understand where Ange is coming from, but Ange isn't someone who would tell everyone her business. Just like she said, she doesn't tell her family anything because she's the one that they normally use as their pillar of strength. And it's just sad because it's like, damn, Big Ange, you really can't rely on anyone in your family as far as a shoulder to cry on? That's pretty messed up. So Carla goes and meets up with Renee, and they're having this conversation. They're talking about doing a general recap of what Marissa said during their conversation. Ooh, excuse me. And long story short, all I got from that was Carla is having issues at home because her kids, like, as we already know, aren't really respecting her, and she already feels like they're slowly pulling away, and it's pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up. We all saw this coming, and so Renee's just like, you need to have a talk with their father, because he needs to set that boundary of, regardless of what his new life is, you're going to be included. They're going to all be included together. That's how it's going to be. So Marissa meets up with Drita, and Drita is just like, oh, hey, how are you? Marissa's just like, oh, hi. Yeah, but cut the crap. Let's talk real talk. Yeah, so I feel like you were supposed to be on my side. Why weren't you on my side? Why weren't you on my side? Ozzy and your husband were cool, thick as thieves. Our families are super close. How the hell aren't you on my side? What's wrong with you? This feels really fake. It feels like you're choosing sides and you chose the wrong side. And Drita's just like, little girl, I do not have an issue with you. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then she was also like, I feel like you planted stuff in Brittany's head and made her go off. And it was like, no, she kind of did. She didn't say go off on Marissa, but this is what Drita does. Drita gets in the moment, and Drita doesn't think sometimes. So she'll just go and say what's on her mind. And as an end result, some stuff happens, just like with the Love and Carla situation. She gassed Love's head up, and so that gave Love the green light in her mind to go and attack Carla. Now, Drita's pissed because Marissa also brings up the fact that apparently Lee was in contact with Ozzy, but we know that that didn't happen, and legally that better not have happened, because the parole officer could haul his ass back to prison. And so Drita's just like, are you crazy? This is women business. So of course I'm not going to bring the men into this. And Marissa was like, right. And then it was like, you know what? Who did you hear this from? And it's like, well, you know, this is Staten Island, so I hear everything. People talk, and it gets everywhere else. And Drita's just like, no, I know what this is. I know what this is. It was Karen. She was the one that ran her mouth, because she was the only one that could have gone and spewed out something like this. It was Karen, and we were supposed to be friends. This was a girl that was saying have my back, that she loved me, and now she's trying to put the knife in the back, and when I see her, I'ma see her. So anyway, we have Carla. She goes and she talks with her ex-husband, and I think her husband's also his name's Joe, or Joseph, whatever. But she's just trying to say how, look, this birthday party is going on, and I need to be a part of it, because the kids already feel a certain way. And they're like, oh no, Mom, this is a party for us, so you can't come. It's like, wait a minute, I'm your mother. I birthed you. How the hell are you saying that I can't come? Type of thing. It's like, no, because it's at Daddy's house. And what does that mean? And she's right. And the whole thing is that when when Joe came back, he never came into the house. So the kids have this whole mental barrier of, when we're here, this is just Mom and us. When we're at Daddy's house, it's just Daddy and us. And so she was like, look, regardless of what's going on, I want to be included with everything. And of course I'm going to pop up. He's like, I know you're going to pop up, whether we want you to or not. And he was like, exactly. It's like, all right, it's cool. It's cool. We're on the same page, copacetic. And so Brittany was just showing Drita what she was doing on Fashion Week. And just like, all right, so we're going to be cool, calm, collected. And Drita goes and talks about, what the hell does Drita actually talk about? I'm not sure. Oh, okay, so Drita was actually doing some really shady stuff, because she at this point is like a screw Karen campaign. And so the whole screw Karen campaign goes off, and she just has this whole idea of, I'm going to bash Karen in a way that Karen's never been bashed before, and we'll see how she likes it. Well, we'll see how she doesn't like it. And she was just like, Lee sees Karen as the one that never should have happened, as the ultimate mistake, the ultimate blimp as far as relationships go, and that Karen, not only is she a mistake, she is a non-factor. He wants to pretend that she doesn't exist. She's irrelevant. And I'm just like, Drita, what Karen said about you is true. You are the type that talks major smack behind people's back, and then when you get in front of them, how can a confrontational person not like to confront people when they have an issue to bring to them? How does that make sense? How does that make any sense at all? So Big Ange, she goes and she talks with her husband, and she's basically like, you're not bringing in any money. You're causing me stress. I don't want you here. Be gone. And I'm so upset because, Big Ange, you are stressed out right now because your health is declining. You have cancer again, and your husband isn't bringing in enough money, and you feel like he's just leeching off you, and he's not being a real man. But I'm like, no, Big Ange, no, don't do this to yourself. Please don't do this to yourself. You really need to realize that he is a good guy. He's a good guy, and right now you're just very emotional, rightfully so, because things are going to hell in a handbasket. And it feels like there's nothing you can really do about it. And so the only thing that you can control is telling him to get out of the house that is technically both of yours, but you were the one who mainly paid for it, I'm assuming. It's probably in your name as well, but anyway, so we go past from that, and Brittany's at her fashion show, the fashion show she's starring in, and she invites Karen. Karen, unfortunately, Marissa and, what's her name? And Renee couldn't come, so Karen invited her other friends. And so then you have Drita, you have Brittany's mom, and also Big Ange is there. Big Ange isn't feeling that well, and Drita realizes it, and then Big Ange tells Drita that, you know, I kicked him out. I kicked my husband out. But it was just like, Drita was saying how, you know what? I really messed up a lot of people's events, but this one isn't going to be one of them. This one isn't going to be one of them. And it was really misleading because how the commercial went for when the season started, I thought this was when they were going to get into the fight because how they're dressed is very similar. But apparently it's not. So next week is going to be interesting as usual. Please come back. Please like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the review. Again, come back next week. Okay, clue.